What's up, everybody? This is Nick, and you're joining us for a special Memorial Day weekend episode of the Pull Up a Chair podcast. And as always, I'm joined by my friend and fellow podcaster.
This is Eric.
And Eric, it's been a while since we've used those words, podcaster. It's been newscaster for a little while.
Yeah. We're going to do a long form today. We're not sure how long it's going to be exactly.
But you know what? We were thinking about doing something a little different. We got to talking about little nostalgia things here and there. And
yeah.
We thought, let's bring it back for a special Memorial Day weekend extravaganza.
Well, let's just be real. Like, editing one big podcast is a little bit easier than editing like 3 or 4 small podcasts.
Is it, Eric?
Not much easier. It's just I have to import the music once instead of 3 other times.
Well, and I'll be honest, I've been missing kind of doing the long form a little bit. It has its moments.
Well, it gives us a chance to expound on ideas a little more and follow some
rabbit trails.
Yeah, and when we do the short stuff, it seems very obviously it's fast paced, and even though we ignore the timer, guest star, death star quite regularly, we ignore it. We do kind of stick to it a little bit, It puts pressure on us, especially once it goes off, to kind of wrap it up and keep it short-ish, under 13 minutes.
The last few ones we've actually been keeping to the guest star, death stars.
We have.
Rule over us, if you will.
It's rule. It's a dominion.
It is. It's a a kind ruler, if you will. It does not try to hurt us. But Eric, we were just kind of going to do kind of some catch-up stuff this week and do a few things like see where everybody's at and take stock of how life's going. So, Eric, I'm going to start with you. Ask me how my life's going.
Nick, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask you this question. It is something I live for, is to be able to ask you questions and see how you're doing.
Everybody lives for actually hearing how I'm going to answer the question.
Exactly. And I want to take this moment to savor my ability to ask this question in just a few moments. I'll be asking this question.
You do understand the listener is going right now, just ask him the dang question because you're making this all about yourself. And Eric,
I'm not.
It's not about you.
Hey, Nick, what's going on with you, man?
Well, Eric, I don't know if the listeners know, but I do a podcast.
Okay.
And recently we've been doing the news. We took a little break.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of a step back to a little breather. But this week, Eric, we've decided to do a Memorial Day special.
That's crazy.
And I'm excited.
I'm just not hearing about it.
I am excited. No, man, everything's been going good. We're getting ready, gearing up for the wedding. We're only 5 weeks away.
Am I still invited?
Buddy, you're still in this thing.
Yes. I bought a suit and everything.
I know. I expect you to be podcasting it the entire time. Oh, there goes Nick walking down that aisle. All right.
Well, Nick.
Yeah. Hey, all right. That's my impression of you.
You'll be standing at the front of the aisle.
Oh, that's true.
That's where you...
I don't know how weddings work.
Well, you've done several, right? You've been the officiant of several weddings.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, you just show up, right?
You kind of close your eyes and
autopilot.
Yeah, you just. Let me rephrase. I have slept through many, just kind of saying the same thing over and over again. Do you, and But no, we're really excited. Casey and I we're bringing it to the finish line. We got five more weeks.
So how long? 5 weeks. Wow. I was thinking about this. I was looking at my calendar going, okay, Nick and Casey's wedding is coming up. And I was like, what do I have before? I have a ton of so much stuff to do. That's just my life is in the way between now and your wedding. Your wedding's cleared out. I'm dedicated to that once it starts. I was just looking at all the stuff I have, and it makes me feel like I'm not savoring my time with you enough, Nick. I feel like I'm neglecting you. I'm a bad friend. I'm not spending every waking moment pampering you and nurturing you in the last days of your singleness.
You know what, Eric? Don't beat yourself up on that. I appreciate your friendship from a distance. It has we get to see each other every Wednesday or so, and we talk about stuff on the
there's no tornadoes, the interwebs. Yeah, well, we haven't talked on the internet very often, have we?
Well, yeah, people hear us every week talking on the internet,
but we don't talk. We don't talk.
Where do you
to each
think?
Other. We talk into mics.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of talking to each other. I mean, we're carrying on a conversation.
Yeah, but let's be honest, Nick. When we're on mic, we're a little different than when we're just in person, right? I mean,
no, this is me 24/7.
That's not true. That's just not true.
I don't sleep, Eric. I do this. I'm Nick. It's a pleasure to meet you.
That you are like that a lot. But no. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like we're not going to be able to hang out as much once you start being married. That you're going to have other things to do, more important,
married things.
Married things. You're going to be busy with married things and enjoying being married, So,
but Eric,
what's up?
We always make time for the friends that matter.
I mean, I'm sure you and Ryan will hang out, but what about me?
Eric, we always make time for the things that matter.
Aw, thanks, buddy. Are you excited? I mean, are you stressed? Is everything planned?
Everything's planned. We finally got registered the other day.
Registered for what?
Registered for gifts and that sort of thing.
Oh, really? I know what I'm getting you, I think.
A microphone?
I'm getting you no microphone. You want a microphone?
A golden microphone?
They do sell golden microphones.
I know.
That they're not really that good. I know. I found a possible gift for you. I don't know what your register is. I have no idea. I'm buying a gift that I want to give you.
And that's perfect.
So I found a gift idea. It's kind of like happy marriage, and you're moving to a new home, so kind of a home-warming gift as well.
Well, my friend, that's great. I'm assuming since you are the board game master, that it is some kind of board game.
No, it's not a board game.
Oh,
no, not a board game. I might get you a board game though. That's a good one too. Man, I hadn't thought about that one.
Well, we actually did that. Our church did that for the theme of the little shower that they put on for us.
Oh yeah, your church. Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of like a pack the game closet.
Oh, what'd you get? Anything good?
We got a couple games. Other things were more like snacky type items that you could eat while playing games.
How was that helpful?
I don't know.
You're getting ready for a wedding. You're trying to keep your weight under control and stay healthy. And then you can let go after the wedding all you want.
Oh yeah. But they're getting she's already handcuffed at that point.
That's right. She can't do anything about it.
No.
Man. Wow. What actual game? I do play board games. I love board games or tabletop games. What board games did you get? Don't tell me someone got you Monopoly.
No Monopoly. This is honestly I don't remember the two games they got us.
That's your two games. Yahtzee. They get you pretty standard games.
We're talking like Pandemic style games.
Oh, good games like games that come from actual game stores. You get Pandemic?
No, we didn't get Pandemic. We got it is a co-op game of some sort. One of the couples that got us the game. One of the games was telling us about that it's like a co-op style game.
Yeah,
that you work together to try to kind of like a Pandemic. But
do you know the premise of it?
You're in a castle and you're fighting. You're like heroes fighting something.
Well, you know what? We were playing a cooperative game.
Yeah, life happens, Eric.
And me and you and your lovely bride.
Yes.
And
your
father. And I just think Hogwarts has been taken over by now. Because we have not been defending it.
No, it's just gotten a little dusty. Everything stopped in time. We used some kind of weird time spell.
Oh, like Hermione's like go back and forth. Her Heine's time spell.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we need to get back to that eventually. If you're gonna like.
Yeah,
We have to redo game 3 because we didn't beat it.
Yeah, well, we'll get around to it.
Or 4, I can't remember which one.
But. Yeah, I mean, that was fun. What games? Well, Eric, let me ask you this. How things been going for you, my friend?
Still lonely, minor depression, trying to lose weight, but it's not happening. It's going great. It's going great, man. Oh. No, I'm doing pretty well. Working on my, one of my certs for work, to get better jobs, project management stuff. And what else am I doing? I'm playing board games, doing that all the time.
You got yourself a Switch.
I did get a Switch. I like playing games with my kids, and Nintendo makes the best family games. But the first game I got is mostly a single player game, but there are some co-op maps. It's the Mario and Rabbids game. It's like a XCOM style turn-based strategy game. Really good game. I enjoy it, and in fact, I think one of my children is playing it right now.
Probably messing up your save file.
No, they have each one has their own profile. They play under their own game.
All killing your characters.
They can do that. It's Mario. Who cares? Who cares? It's Mario. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. So Memorial Day is coming up, and most Memorial Days, when I was a kid, we would go picnicking or do a special thing. Do you ever do anything special for Memorial Day?
Well, we would do like a barbecue, and we'd go see the grandparents. One of the two. Granddad served in World War II. So
yeah.
But
they already have Veterans Day, right?
Yeah, they have Veterans Day, but it was kind of...
So you'll have to talk to him once a year.
Yeah. But, I mean, birthdays maybe.
It's up in the air, if they remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, Memorial Days used to remember, not just war veterans, but also, what is the designation for Memorial Day, right? It's to remember just the past, right? Is that kind of the reason behind the Memorial Day?
I thought it was Memorial Day was to remember the fallen.
I mean, that's just in wars or just in general?
In wars.
Memorial Day, a day of which those who died in active military service are remembered, traditionally observed on May 30th, but not officially observed on the last Monday of May. So this year it's on May 28th, and... so yeah, I guess that's true. I guess it's a military holiday. We use it just to remember in my family, just people who died in our family. And we did this thing where we would go to like a really old funeral graveyard that like a bunch of family members were buried at, and we would be outside of it. There's this big grassy knoll, and we would picnic. Play picnic games, and it's like we're not like the only family there either. And like we're talking my mom's side, which would be like 50, maybe 50 people, and then there'd be other smaller groups of families, like 10 or 20 group size group families around there doing the same thing. And you go in and you set flowers, and you do they usually the older ones, like uncles and aunts, talk about the different people who have passed. That's what we've always used it for. And so, yeah, that's what we do. That's what I have done in the past. I was supposed to go to a house and swim and do like a swim party. That got all planned out, but it got canceled as of today when this is being, created.
Right.
Yeah, it got canceled all of a sudden. We were supposed to go and just do a swim party and stuff at a friend's house. And that got canceled. I don't know why yet. I'm supposed to play D&D with that guy Saturday, so I'll find out what's going on.
That guy,
Paul, and so we'll see what's up there. Other than that, yeah, man, I like Memorial Day. It's always a good holiday. It's like right at the end of school when I was a kid. It's like the first holiday out of school, which made me mad. It was like, can we go to school just long enough that we get out a day of school for this holiday? But no. Then there's Labor Day when you get back. Another thing about Memorial Day, it's the day that dictates when I'm on like that electricity plan where they change the rates based on the time of year and time of day. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And like after this one, it goes to like summer rates. So during the day, it's like, I don't know, 10 cents per kilowatt hour or something like that. Or I don't know. It's a lot more than it should be. And so it's going to be like twice as expensive during the hours of the day. But at 7 at night, it drops to like 3 cents. So it goes real cheap.
Okay. So you're telling me you're just going to basically try to store up all the air conditioning you can at that 3 cent level.
I do. Yeah. What I do is my air conditioner between when the hours that starts, it just like it sets itself to like 85. Most of the day we're not here anyway. We get home and we play outside, or we'll go like I got past to go swimming. We'll go swim, and at about 7 o'clock, it'll kick on, and it'll drop the temperature and be home, and we'll be coming home, and it'll be nice and cool inside. And if it's Saturdays and Sundays, it's normal. It's only during the day, weekdays, so it's no big deal. Good reason not to be home. I'm not a big fan of staying at my house unless I'm cleaning or doing something productive. I'm usually out and about doing stuff, so it's not a big deal to me. It saves me a bunch of money.
Wow. Well, I mean, that makes sense. So, Eric, let me ask you this, and I just thought of something. Yep. It being Memorial Day, are there any Memorial Day like cartoons that you remember, like specifically Memorial Day themed?
Wow, Memorial Day cartoons. I can't think of any. I'm trying to think of a Memorial Day cartoon. Maybe Bugs Bunny has one. I don't know if it's specifically Memorial Day. He has several patriotic cartoons and features.
Several somewhat racist ones.
Yeah,
too.
Some of these old racist ones, like when they're Germans. Yeah. Like the really old ones where Bugs looks weird.
Well, that and the ones that are really bad are probably the Japanese ones.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about those.
Oh, who could forget those? Those were classic Bugs Bunny doing his classic making fun of the Japanese shtick. But my friend, I remember one, and I had to look it up to figure out the name of it, but it's called What We Have Learned, Charlie Brown.
I have never heard of that. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
It was one that I don't know. It played on the CBS network every once in a while, according to this. I remember watching it on television, but it was more along the lines of it was just following like Charlie Brown and Linus and them as kind of like Linus telling the story of D-Day, leading the group to a cemetery nearby. I remember it having, and I'm kind of reading this as I go along, but I do remember the voice of Mr. Dwight D. Eisenhower being used, archival footage and that sort of thing. I mean, it was honestly one of the only Memorial Day themed shows that I can remember. It apparently first aired in 1983.
Yeah, this is just not one I'm like watching it right now, and I've never seen this one or heard it. I was not a huge Charlie Brown fan. It was okay. It was never my favorite kind of cartoon. Snoopy and Woodstock are great in their stuff, but I've never gone into the whole Charlie Brown Peanuts full cast. So I don't know. That's crazy. Did you have to look that up, or do you remember that?
Well, I remembered there being a Charlie. It's one of those things where I remembered there being a Charlie Brown Memorial Day special. I didn't know what it was called.
Okay, so just look it up.
Yeah, I had to look it up what it was actually called, but I did remember that it was a big. I mean, not big, but I remember it was something. This of course actually follows another kind of longer form Charlie Brown movie and they drove in the same car, which I don't know how Snoopy, still to this day, I don't know how Snoopy has a driver's license, but it followed Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown, Bon Voyage.
Okay.
Charlie Brown, where they go overseas.
Don't they go to France?
Yes.
That one I remember. I've seen that one once when I was younger. I don't know. Crazy, man. Is there any other cartoons that were Memorial Day themed?
I don't know. I don't remember any.
I mean, let's ask Google, I guess. I don't know.
Now, of course, this is a big time for, Memorial Day sales always happen around this time. That's kind of a big, kind of a big deal.
Yeah, one of the few stores I shop at, what was that? Eddie Bauer? They got a pretty good sale going on.
Do they? What's their sale?
40% off, and that includes 40% off their clearance items, and that's usually where I shop, is all in their clearance. But I did buy a Switch this month, so my disposable income is far too small for me to buy. I also had to buy a suit for a wedding I'm in, so I a considerable amount of money this month.
Oh yeah, you gonna look good at that wedding?
Heck yeah, man! I bought the suit and I got your bride's approval. I sent, of course, you were on that text and I sent her pictures of what I got because my goal was to be the best looking groomsman. I wanted to make sure I looked better than your dad.
Oh, my dad is taking this challenge. He says that he will beat you into the dirt in a fashion contest.
Should we walk the aisle? Him and I before it all starts and do a fashion show?
Yes, this is happening.
I hope so. Is he wearing a jacket?
Oh, by the way, yes, he is. By the way, Eddie Bauer, you just heard it here. We did a commercial for you. Just send the royalties our way. All that.
You know what? Send those just to Nick for a wedding gift.
You know what, Eric? Thank you.
You're welcome, bud.
Thank you. Yeah, send it all to me. That'll work. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, Memorial Day is one that, I mean, there is a lot of sales. There wasn't a whole lot of, I mean, Cartoon Network always does like a Memorial Day, it'll play just a bunch of shows.
Well, that's what it does every day.
Well, I know, but I mean, there's like supposed to be some kind of, I don't know. It just always had a, what do they call that? A marathon of like one show.
Oh, you mean just like playing the same show over and over and over?
Well, yeah. Like,
or just like one
series. Oh, so like they do like Adventure Time and they just show all those.
Okay.
All over the place. But I mean, it's kind of it's one of those holidays that, I mean, there wasn't really like a whole lot of, I won't say there's not a lot of fanfare. I mean, there are parades and that sort of thing, but as far as, I mean, I don't know how you make I guess there's not a way to make cartoon episodes dedicated to Memorial Day that are entertaining for kids.
Yeah, you know, since it's wrapped around the military, it's that weird thing where it's on the cusp of, you could make it seem almost celebrating war instead of celebrating our veterans and their accomplishments.
Right.
And that I think that line, I think they're afraid to go near that line, which I think if you did something, it's pretty clear what you're doing. But I think that line's there and they're afraid to get near. That's my opinion. In today's culture, the way it is, especially. So I don't know that, you know, back in 83 when Charlie Brown did their special. Would you say 83, right?
Yeah, 83 was when that came out.
So I mean, that was a little bit more clear cut. My dad's a vet, and I mean, he's a Vietnam vet, which was looked down. Those veterans were looked down upon in terms of like during the war. I remember him telling me stories of when he would come back into the States. They were like, take your military garb off and get in civilian clothes before you get off the plane. They're like, don't get off the plane in your... He's like, you didn't want to do that because you would get attacked or you'd get things thrown at you by, you know, those people against the war, as if you had a choice. Because you could have been drafted. My dad was nearly drafted, so he just enlisted. Because if you enlisted, you had to pick your job. If you were drafted, you didn't. So he enlisted because his number was like almost called up within 100 of his number. But if you don't know what the draft is, you get a card with the number on it. If the draft ever happens, you have, they just like, it's a lottery of numbers. And they usually go in like big lots, if I remember right. And his like thousands of people will be called up and they'll do these like batches of these numbers. And his was like almost hit. So he just went in. And he was in the military for several years and he taught and he did fire like trajectories for, I can't remember what the size of the cannons were, but that's what he did. And he's very proud of his service. He wears his hat. He wears I'm a Vietnam vet hat and has his emblems. I don't remember really. He was in the Army, I believe. Right. He didn't really talk about it much other than he wears his hat and that's about it. And he'll talk to other military people occasionally, but just like if you ask him, he'll kind of talk about it a little, but not too much. So, but yeah, that's where he is at. And so I can see why making a cartoon, which seems aimed towards kids, it could be a bit difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get like on a very special Gummy Bears episode.
Did they do a very special Gummy Bears episode?
I don't think they did.
Oh, I loved when there was like a very special episode because it was always like very like any show that cartoon that did that. It was a very 80s and 90s thing to do.
Well, it was. I mean, yeah, it was like
It's like
on a very special episode.
And they did it
of
on
the
like
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, or sitcoms that did that, and you're like, oh, well, this is gonna get heavy.
Oh
You knew
yeah,
it was gonna get like something bad was gonna happen, or someone was gonna die, or something heart wrenching was gonna happen, and you're like, I don't like watching this. I watch TV for fun.
not Urkel.
Urkel.
So innocent.
Urkel goes to prison.
On a very special Family Matters. Urkel goes to prison.
Yeah.
If Urkel went to prison, what do you think his crime would be? I know this is a random question, and we're going all over the place.
I mean, this is kind of a random podcast today. What would Urkel's crime be? Okay, we're talking about a felony crime too, not a misdemeanor. So we're talking a felony.
Yes.
He did something bad. He was picked on. Oh man, that's a bad one with what's been going on today with people picked on. So let's not go there.
Ooh, tread lightly, sir.
Yeah. Hacking. He would be running the Silk Road or one of those dark web auction houses.
But see, Urkel was one of those that even though he was picked on, he was almost blissfully ignorant to it. Although there were many episodes where he gave speeches about how to overcome bullies.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember...
You do the Urkel.
Well, you do the Urkel, yes. But everybody, that is how you defeat bully.
Well, the thing is, everyone knows the Urkel. The Urkel is a dance, and everyone knows it because the moment he starts dancing it, everyone can do it.
Yeah, it's very odd that it just came out of nowhere, and everybody on that roof party somehow did the Urkel with him.
Yeah, like even the steps that he had never demonstrated. Just like they maybe he goes to prison for implanting nanorobots into his, in quotes, friends and forces them to do the Urkel.
That's true. That's true. I think he would go to prison for cloning. If
really?
You remember Stefan Urkel?
Stefan, yes.
The model clone of
he's
himself.
He's like the Were or the lycanthrope, or is that what it is? Like, well, he's like the cool one.
Yeah,
right?
He was the cool one. Yeah.
The cool one. So he transformed.
I think, yes. I remember there was like an episode they did where he was like becoming a nerd. And he would become like cool back and forth.
Yeah, he took like a potion or something.
Yeah.
Chemicals.
It was like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Thank you for great television.
So
Family Matters.
Goes to jail for illegal chemical.
Well, later on he cloned himself so that Stefan Urkel could live a life of his own, and he could still be Steve Urkel.
Okay.
And have eventually win the love of Laura Winslow in the final seasons. Then just randomly get caught out in space. That's the final episode.
Yeah.
Where he just got randomly... they were supposed to continue the storyline, I take it, after the next season, but never was. It was just... You always wondered if Urkel was just lost in space for the rest of his days.
Speaking of Lost in Space, that's one of the series. Have you watched the new Lost in Space series on Netflix?
I watched the first episode. Didn't get into the second episode yet. I'm watching it with my dad.
Oh, okay.
And started watching the second episode tonight, and the family showed up, and so we had to.
And so they made you stop.
Well, yeah. I mean, they are. The family is a little boisterous. And it's hard to watch when they're like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Like, did all of them show up, or just like your brothers or your sisters?
No, my sisters.
Your sister's family. Okay.
Sister's family showed up.
Okay.
They wanted to see. My dad's kind of been doing some interior decorating. Some
painting
and
the
stuff.
kitchen done.
The kitchen is done. Now he's painting the living room, and then he's going to get all the carpet ripped up and redone. So
Nice.
My friend, next time you walk into that house, it may look like a completely different place.
Well, your dad's house always reminded me of my dad's house before he renovated it. They were built around the same time. We've talked about this, the wood paneling and all the wood and the brown.
Yeah, because honestly, brown is a color that you just can't get too much of.
That's right. Apparently, there's so much brown in my dad's house, like brown walls, brown carpet, like brown highlights in the ceiling. So much brown.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is that house when we moved into it. I mean, something called wainscot became a thing. Where it's like the half brown wall.
Yep.
And then you have just the brown paneling wall. I mean, it just. I mean, they loved their paneling, and I honestly believe that some guy named Wayne just was like, I don't know what to do with this extra paneling. I'm going to shove it around here around the toilet. And that's where a lot of wainscot
around
went.
The toilet. Yeah, well, it's also around dining rooms with the chair rail. Also, yeah. That's pretty common.
Yeah,
and it does look nice if it's done well.
Yeah, it does. You brought up a reboot. And this is kind of what started me down wanting to do a long form one. But my friend, there are a lot of reboots, and we've kind of went over them even in a micro mini lightning newscast. We talked about some of the things that are being rebooted, but there are a lot of things that have come out that we have not covered. A lot of reboots happening. One of them actually is causing a little bit of friction on the internet. A little reboot called Thundercats Roar.
Yeah, you showed me, what was it? The
trailer, basically.
Trailer for it?
Teaser.
Now, the thing is, I saw this artwork other places thinking it was just fan art from like DeviantArt or some site that someone was reposting. I really wasn't paying attention to it too much. And I just thought it was like someone's vision of Thundercats in chibi form. Chibi Thundercats.
Kind of like a meme style, DeviantArt style.
Yeah, well, it's like chibi. It's like very Asian, kind of like Teen Titans Go or Chibi Ruby or any series that wants to do a more fun and lively, less realistic cartoon. And that's what I thought it was. And I didn't know it was an actual show. It looks kind of fun. It looks fun. I'm curious. I'll probably watch it if I can find it somewhere that I don't have to like pay cable.
It's Cartoon Network, but they're the ones putting it out. And you and I have talked about this before. There was actually a reboot earlier that was kind of a more serious reboot. Of the Thundercats,
like the gritty one. Was it a reboot, or there was also some art that came out of a possible reboot that didn't get greenlit. Also, that you like a leaked trailer came out of.
No, there was like one season on Cartoon Network of a reboot that starred.
I did watch that.
Will Friedle as Lion-O, because I remember thinking, well, that's the voice of Batman Beyond. And that's what I know him from. Not really, Will Friedle, of course, being the Boy Meets World brother, but I actually knew him kind of more as Batman Beyond. But yeah, there was this Thundercats reboot that apparently didn't make it. And there may have been, I think there was only one season, but there may have been two. I guess there was only one, yeah.
Yeah, it ran from July 29th, 2011 to June 16th of 2012. Let's see here, 24 episodes?
I watched
26.
I watched maybe 3 or 4 of those episodes. Wasn't a bad show, just wasn't one that really tickled the nostalgia too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm for adding elements to the storyline to kind of flesh it out a little bit,
Do you remember that in the first episode of Thundercats, they're all naked?
I do not remember this.
You never know that? Really? It's like the pilot episode or the first episode. I don't know if I ever watched this. Of the first Thundercats. Let's say pilot. They're on the ship. They're still in space on the ship. And here it is. Thundercats 0001. They're naked. What? Thank you for the commercials, YouTube, on a 15-second... No,
Yeah, you can watch Stranger Things on Contour now. So
apparently they're super. So, like in the intro, they all have clothes on. Let's see if this is yeah. They're all naked on the ship. See
that? Well, I mean,
he has a cloak on, but like they don't like look at Tigra. He has no clothes on.
Yeah.
That's really kind of weird, and the kids don't have any clothes on either. I wonder if it was originally designed like Chitara. I don't think she has any clothes on. Like that's not clothes. She's fur. She has fur.
Eric, you got to be comfortable in the skin you're in.
They are like I don't know. Like I think they're naked. She has a belt.
That's their pajamas.
They're like skin tight pajamas.
They all wear onesies. It's a very strange world. And
so do you like they're like it's weird like they have invisible clothes on almost. Oh, well, that's beside the point. So there's a reboot of Thundercats called Thundercats what?
Eric, doesn't your pajamas look like your regular skin?
Yeah, all the time. Sorry. I've never seen this Thundercats from 2011. I never watched any of this. It looks so weird.
It was kind of interesting. It was, but I mean, that's the thing I was going to say is that I'm all for modernizing. You know, you don't want to tell the same story over. You want to give it more of a plot, and
like they did with DuckTales.
Yeah, like they did with DuckTales. But you got to keep some of the fun elements that make it nostalgic, and I think that's kind of what they did wrong on this one. Is they tried to give it more focused on their story versus, you know, having their story plus the kind of nostalgic elements that made it.
In this one, was Lionel like an arrogant man child?
He was basically, yeah. Well, he was basically a teenager and had to learn. He like gets the sword. At the very beginning, there's a big like Mumra and his forces are attacking the
castle.
Yeah, they're attacking the Thundercats kingdom.
So like the Thundercats are from this world now.
Yes.
They're not spaceship people.
No. They get chased out of their kingdom, and he's just he has to take over the sword basically.
Oh, interesting.
And so the kingdom gets overrun, and they escape kind of through a hidden passage, and that's the story is kind of after that. From where I could kind of see it going was that it was going to follow him. One, learning how to use the sword, but two, kind of getting the kingdom back or getting his revenge.
It looks very Japanese.
Yeah, I mean,
was this like a?
They went for kind of, I think, an anime look to it.
I mean, was that on purpose? Was it done by, like, in collaboration? Because some of the stuff is very Japanese.
I don't, buddy. I can't.
Studios.
I can't answer those questions.
Yeah, U.S. and Japan collaboration.
Okay.
So I think Studio 4 degrees Celsius. That's a Japanese studio, isn't it?
Sure.
I don't remember.
I'm more of a fan of 6 degrees Celsius.
I don't remember. Oh, all right. Well, cool. Any other reboots that you know of?
Buddy, there is a reboot that also that Netflix is bringing to us.
What's that?
Coming soon, my friend, a hero will rise. None other than She-Ra, the Princess of Power.
You know, well, I didn't mind She-Ra growing up. There's not a He-Man reboot already, is there?
No, I mean that's what's weird about this choice.
I mean, He-Man was in my opinion. I mean, they're both part of the same universe.
Well, they were.
The obviously the He-Man seemed a bit of a bigger character of the universe. Though I did like She-Ra. She had, what was her horse's name? Like Swiftwind or something like that? Yeah, something like that. We'll see. Is it Shadow Weaver? No. I don't know. I'm looking at the list of they've given a list of the people that are going to be in this show who's voicing like She-Ra and stuff like that. Who's doing She-Ra?
Amy Carrero. Amy Carrero.
Amy Carrero. I don't know that. I don't know if I know that name.
I don't know that. I don't know what she's been in. But there is it's just a teaser that's out that shows her holding up a sword in kind of a shadowy shadowy background type thing. It's just, I mean, Netflix has been doing a really good job on reboots.
Oh yeah, they do a great job
on making some of these shows. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. I of course, I mean, I kind of understand with the current climate of, the current climate of, women's empowerment type deal, that they might go for this. And if you're going to do this, you almost have to introduce He-Man at some point, right?
Yeah, I mean, you would think, but I'm cool if they don't. I was looking at the artwork; it looks really cool, though. I like this dark look. Good look with the way the lighting is done. I like it. It looks, she looks short. She does not look very tall.
What are you talking about? She is at least 6'4" in that picture.
Whatever. She got a big cape on, and that sword is at least like 4 feet long.
Yeah, longer. I mean, well, buddy, it's the sword of.
What is the sword of? What is her sword called?
I don't know. The sword of the kitchen.
Oh
wow! I'm sorry. I am sorry, folks. That was a low blow. Not cool on my part.
That was hard. I gotta say, it's pretty funny. I wish your lady was here, because she would have. The sword of protection is the weapon wielded by Adora.
Sword of protection.
The sword of protection. I always thought she looked a bit like Sleeping Beauty.
They may have gone for that kind of look. So wait, the sword of protection, and she says for the honor of Grayskull. What was He-Man's sword? Was He-Man's sword the sword of Grayskull?
I think so. Sword of power, right?
Was it the sword of power?
No, its overall design is similar to the sword of power. Yeah, sword of power.
Okay, so you had the sword of power and the sword of protection.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's interesting kind of lore, I guess.
See, in addition to being a formidable as the sword of power and capable of cutting through most substances or deflecting attacks, the sword of protection has the ability to change its shape, a trait that the sword of power does not share. She-Ra can transform the sword of protection into variety of weapons or tools through spoken command, ranging from a shield or a lasso to a helmet or a flaming blade. That's pretty cool.
Huh. So the sword of power just makes them strong. This one is basically a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. But it seems like they said it's as strong as the sword of power. So
well, I mean, great.
It sounds like it's a better sword than He-Man's sword.
The people that make weapons in Grayskull, I mean, they were known for their manufacturing skills. None of the products that they made can be called weak.
Well, they still have that castle standing, the Grayskull castle.
Right.
Who knows how old that thing is?
Their shop face.
The shop face, yeah. The storefront.
The storefront. But, I mean, buddy, I want to rewrite this whole thing where it's just a bunch of trolls in there. They're like, yes, we have the sword.
Kind of like Harry Potter and the Banks.
Like, yeah. But they're like, it's one of a kind, and they're like pushing other powers.
There's no sword like it. And then he like a box of them falls over, like cutting the floor up.
Yeah. He's like, do not look at that box. Those
are defective.
Yeah, that's the defective ones. Like, that one actually looks stronger. What's that one? Like, protection. But anyway, you want this one. This one.
This is the strongest one.
Yeah, this one will.
Oh, that's the one I want.
Yeah. Like, what's the other one do? Oh, it becomes like a lasso and a fire sword. Like, will that one do it? No, but it's the one we're giving you.
Yeah, so, it's like the one you get.
Like, we are saving this for someone greater.
Well, I'm excited. It looks like a show my daughter might like. I don't know. I'm curious. She watched the old She-Ra. She's watched some of those. I forget where she saw them. I think they were on Amazon, or I don't remember.
Well, they were on Netflix for a while, I remember.
She watched them. I swear she watched them on her like tablet somehow.
There's a Netflix app on the tablet.
Well, not like she has like a kids tablet, Fire tablet, which doesn't have all the fancy kids apps.
There's
like,
a Netflix
no,
app
like I don't put that app on there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because I don't trust them. They can watch all the Amazon stuff, but it's easier to filter.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, this is an odd. I mean, because the original She-Ra was introduced by He-Man, so I'm a little interested in how they're going to do this.
Well, it's his twin sister.
Yeah, but I'm curious. Are they eventually going to introduce a He-Man? Are they going to stay away from that? Are they going to mention him in passing? That sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted to bring my daughter in here to talk about She-Ra because if you don't know this, I do podcasts with my daughter. We don't really publish them because she's a child. And I just don't want, that just sounds weird. We put out a video online on YouTube. Like I put it on like my own channel, which has nobody is subscribed to. And this girl, somebody found our video and commented like 30 times on it. The same person commented talking about like
how they made money working.
No, there was like another child, or I hope it wasn't a kid, commenting about what we were talking about. Like, oh, that's this and that's this. I don't remember what we were talking about. It was a cartoon, I think. I can't remember. And so I was like, I'm not putting anything else out there. I set that to private, and I was like, that was weird. It's just like, it came up somehow. I didn't put anything like like, you put like tags and stuff. I put nothing, and someone found it. It was weird. So I don't put anything out. But we've done an entire podcast about She-Ra. My daughter knows quite a bit about it. It was very unnerving.
Well, but I mean, she's watched it. I mean,
she loved it.
I don't know that I watched a few episodes of She-Ra. I don't know that I ever just got into it.
I was thinking about that. Like my daughter, she likes video games, and she likes, cartoons like any other kid. But she really, I mean, there are games that are more tailored to little girls, but there's less shows that are more tailored to little girls. It feels like, my daughter doesn't really care much for the stuff my sons watch. I mean, she watches it, I think, because she just wants to be around people. But she's always, Barbie has several series, and she loves those, and She-Ra, she loves that. So I'm all for another girl show, because I love sitting and watching shows with her and just talking about them and enjoying our time together. And it's fun. And then we'll go have a tea party. So, it's all good. Being a dad's fun.
Well, I'm actually looking a little bit about this. So this is actually being done in a partnership between Netflix and DreamWorks Animation.
Really, man? That means the animation is going to be on point.
Well, I mean, the animation for that, or at least the picture.
Yeah, but
that. I know it's a still picture, but I mean, it is a beautiful looking picture.
It's well done. But the thing is, I think I could find something just as good out on, like we say, DeviantArt or somebody's personal art site. Animation is far more difficult. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what is going to be. I mean, it looks like is 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional. How are they going to do it? What kind of animation style? I'm curious to find out.
Well, there is something I'm reading here that so now, for those who remember, the original She-Ra is the twin sister of Prince Adam He-Man. That won't be a case in the new version. The press release describes this version of Adora as an orphaned named Adora who leaves behind her former life in the evil Horde when she discovers a magic sword that transforms her into the mythical warrior princess She-Ra.
Well, yeah, that's partially from the original, because she was in the Horde. She was in the Horde originally. That's when Prince Adam found her.
Right.
Because if you watch, the early ones, she's a bad guy. And you learn that she's his sister and all this stuff, and she leaves the Horde and becomes She-Ra. So yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'm excited for it. Is there any other?
Well, and I don't know that it actually rules out him showing up or him being in, one day getting his own show, or I don't know. I'd kind of like to see. I think it'd be kind of cool to get a connected universe eventually. Again,
how
like
big
that.
is the the Masters of the Universe, like how big is that?
It's just He-Man and She-Ra.
That's it. I didn't know if they had any other smaller comics or other.
Oh, like if there's He-Man comics?
Not just like there's other like heroes inside the Masters of the Universe. Masters of what was that? What was
Masters of the Universe?
Yeah, it sounds weird, but it's like the the Dark Universe something universe. That one. What's that one? The Dark Dooku. Dark Universe, Connected Universe. What is that?
Yeah, Dark Connected Universe or something like that.
Yeah, that's a weird one. So yeah, the Masters of the Universe. So,
no, I think I think it's really just She-Ra and He-Man. Those are the two. Those are the only two to ever.
That's all they have
that exist in this one.
I mean, I can't see if it does well and they get a couple season in, seeing Adam come in and maybe getting his own show, or at least Adam showing up. Seems pretty probable. I mean, if she's like an orphan or she don't know. I mean, Prince Adam could still be. She don't know. Prince Adam can still be Prince Adam, and they just not mention him.
That's true. That's very true. I just like she has no clue. She's an orphan.
She's an orphan. She don't know nothing.
She don't know a thing. Do your kids? They also mentioned the reboot here of Voltron that apparently is on.
Kids don't like it.
They don't like it?
My son's never really gotten into the Voltron. I loved Voltron growing up. I've watched a little bit of it, but not enough to have a good opinion on it. It was okay from what I saw, but my kids have never got into Voltron. They did like the reboot series, the reboot of Reboot.
The reboot, Guardian Code or whatever it's called.
The Guardian Code. They liked that one when it came out. It's pretty neat because it's crossover. It's, it's like live action and animation. 3D animation, and it's good. It's not horrible. It's not great either, but it's okay. It's fun to watch when there's sorry about that. When there's nothing else on.
Well, the Thundercat, and I didn't mention this a second ago, but the Thundercats one with its new animation and kind of looking like the Teen Titans Go, it's causing a little bit of controversy online because there's some people that are upset with the new look and the direction it's going. I think people were wanting a more old style nostalgic trip with with Lion-O again and crew, and not crazy zany off the wall, which it's kind of a weird choice if that's what they're going for in this, and it kind of looks like they are. It's kind of a weird choice to choose Thundercats to just bring back randomly and be like, we're doing this now as a kind of a random, funny kind of new series. Because I don't think a lot of kids will know what that is. You know what I'm saying?
You mean, we'll know what Thundercats is?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
a lot of this generation that are watching Cartoon Network will not know what. They won't have a clue what Thundercats.
Yeah, they don't know Thundercats. My kids, I think they've watched a little bit of Thundercats. I should ask them and see what they know about Thundercats. So, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it goes. I mean, a lot of reboots are doing well. I mean, obviously Roseanne's back. DuckTales came back. It's doing really well. What else? What's another reboot? It did okay, I'm assuming. I'll have to look and see what other.
Well, I mean, you also have. If you're bringing up Roseanne, you also have that. The one Will and Grace was rebooted.
Yeah, is that going very well? I've not watched any of that.
I don't have a clue, to be honest. Last time I checked, it was doing. I mean, when I looked at ratings, it was actually doing pretty good from what I understood. And we've kind of gone over these. I mean, Murphy Brown, Party of Five. You're getting a Greatest American Hero reboot. I mean, there's all sorts of things. It's almost as if Charmed is.
Yeah,
one.
I'm kind of curious about the new Charmed reboot. That one is I'm curious about because we were talking about that, just before we started recording, and I was like looking at old Charmed stuff, and I was like, man, that was a pretty show, if you know what I'm saying. Very attractive girls on that show, and they dressed to show it. And I was wondering if that would stick, or if it would be a more realistic not realistic, but it's magic. So I was kind of curious to how they'd stylize it, if it would be in the vein of the original Charmed. Oh, Sabrina's coming back too.
Sabrina is. You mentioned the Jetsons.
Yeah, I saw a Jetsons reboot, but I've not seen any other further news on it. Have you seen any news on the new Jetsons reboot?
Well,
it's supposed to be live action.
Yeah, well, I think it's supposed to be CG from what I'm...
Okay.
I don't know. It's saying 3D. Oh, no, it is. It's supposed to be ABC Entertainment president. It was in development. This is back in January. Robert Zemeckis, who worked on Back to the Future, was announced as executive producer. The show will be filmed in front of a live studio audience, but will also add in CG effects. With an experienced producer like Zemeckis on board, we can expect that the Jetsons will be a fantastic, futuristic reboot. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles got rebooted again. Of course, that's happened more times than I can count. Let's see here.
Miami Vice is supposed to be coming back. The Munsters. There's the show from the 60s. The Munsters revival is in the works at NBC. I'm not sure. That's 1313 Mockingbird Lane. I wonder if they'll get the houses from the street from, what's it called? Desperate Housewives. Animaniacs. Hulu is rebooting Animaniacs. Is that still going on? I've not heard any news on that one.
It's in development.
Still in development?
Yeah. That's one that they're still making. I mean, they're working on it. It's currently being made.
Now, Animaniacs is, I mean, me and you, we are big fans of the Animaniacs. We think it's funny. It's just well made. It's quick wit, a lot of humor, humor as you get older too. A lot of humor to grow into. My kids like Animaniacs. They've watched several episodes and they'll just start laughing. It's not one show that they think to go look up and watch very often, but every so often they'll see it on. They're like, "Oh, I want to watch Animaniacs," and they're like, they love it. They think it's great. So I'm kind of excited for that. I'm hoping they would get that going. I'm glad I have a subscription to Hulu. And that is a great blessing to me.
Yeah. I mean, Hulu is a great service, and it's a good one to have. There is apparently a reboot of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers coming.
That's a reboot.
Well, so the guy, it's the guy who did Castlevania.
Oh, yeah. When's the next season of that coming out?
I have no idea, but the Adi Shankar.
Yeah, we talked about him. He had some really good stuff.
He did. Remember, he did that YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Well, he's apparently been hired on to redo the first 3 seasons, but he wants to do it grittier.
Really? Kind of a little bit more like the movie? It's a smidge darker. It's not real dark. They do curse in it, which I don't like. So like that or darker than that? I don't know.
Don't really know. Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego will be apparently being rebooted. It'll
be a game show again?
No.
Or the cartoon?
Buddy, I think it's the cartoon.
Okay.
If you remember, there was a Deke cartoon that was, once again, our good friends at Deke making trash and taking names. But there will be another one of those. Mega Man is apparently getting a reboot of some kind in a cartoon series. I hope with Mega Man that they would also redo, are you ready for this? Captain N. You remember Captain N?
Yeah, we've talked
about the kid that got sucked into a Nintendo game.
Captain N. Yeah, we talked about that. It was really weird.
Yes.
Really weird.
Not so much a reboot, but Invader Zim. We've talked about there's going to be a movie. And that pretty much rounds out the list that I just found. But yeah, I mean, a lot of reboots. We actually had, we've said this before, but our nostalgia, we had a great era of just shows and that sort of thing.
We sure did. I mean, the 80s and 90s was it seems like the golden era of cartoons for sure, and some really good sitcoms. I mean, Night Court, Roseanne,
Family Matters, Perfect Strangers, Full House.
Yeah. Oh, we even talked about Fuller House, which I don't watch Fuller House.
I don't either.
Yeah. So,
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
What?
I'm just going through the TGIF lineup here, my friend.
I forgot about it. Yeah, we talked about that the other, 6 months ago.
Yeah, we did one of those. If you want to go back and hear all about our nostalgia for TGIF, which apparently they're rebooting that in some way. We talked about.
Yeah, we talked about they're trying to come back with a new TGIF kind of like show lineup thing.
Yep, my friend, we had quite the history.
We did. We lived in a great time.
Well, Eric, we've hit time. Do you have anything you want to add on our Memorial Day nostalgia trip?
Well, looking back, it's fun, to see what's happened and what's happening now, and a lot of parallels, a lot of similarities in terms of content being made. I'm curious. I think the future of media is more YouTube and that kind of online presence, and that's why they're rebooting so many TV shows that have a nostalgia to draw back like our generation.
Yes.
Because I don't have cable. I don't watch anything on TV unless it's being streamed to my TV. That's about all I watch. I might turn the news on occasionally if I haven't had a chance to read or go to a site to read the news, or I'm doing something like folding laundry. I'll put the news on.
Right.
But that's about it. So I think that concept it's an okay concept to bring back these old shows to try to draw attention back to the networks. I mean, there's still some good shows out there, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I watch it on Hulu.
Which it got canceled and picked up within 31 hours.
Yeah.
Thank you, NBC. Saved a great show.
Very good show. So I'm just kind of sitting back and watch and see what happens and where it goes and enjoy the ride while it's happening.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I, of course, will check out, when I can, check out some of these episodes and see what, kind of see what's out there and see what, see how it's going. But I mean, a lot of what they're trying to do is make these shows a little grittier and kind of the way, because like we said, the Sabrina's being rebooted, but it's doing a dark reboot. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just
Liza Koshy, she just became the face of
Gesundheit, by the way. What?
Liza Koshy?
Liza Koshy.
She is like a huge YouTuber. She just got to be the host of a Double Dare reboot. Oh,
yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, well, they finally got to pick the host out today, or not, well, maybe not. Yeah, today. May 22nd. Is that today or is that yesterday? Recently, they picked out that she's going to be the new host.
I see that she's pictured here with none other than Mark Summers. I'm assuming that he's coming on to be, she's going to basically be his apprentice.
No, she's hosting and he's coming on as an announcer. If I remember right, I'd have to.
I want Mark Summers every once in a while to have an ego and be like, when I was doing this show, we did it this way.
And I'd call her out.
Yeah. Be like, since you're a young millennial punk, I imagine that you'll do it this way.
So you don't know who Liza Koshy, she's like a huge YouTuber. She's like kind of the face of YouTube right now. She does red carpet events for, if she was dating David, what's his name? David, and has another big YouTube star. The one that has like Josh from Jake and Josh on his show, on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, I got nothing.
David, what is his name?
You are our YouTube reporter
Liza.
and no in the know type person. So
David Dobrik.
By the way, what is our update on Pippi or Pepe or?
She was getting sued.
What?
You talking about Poppy?
Poppy, yeah.
Poppy's getting sued by. So Poppy's character is a derivative of. So Poppy is a character created by the actress that plays Poppy, the singer, the actress that plays Poppy, and her boyfriend, which I forget his name. Let me look it up real quick. But Poppy's character was derived out of another person, Poppy YouTuber lawsuit.
Another person? What other person?
Mars Argo is suing Poppy. YouTuber Mars Argo, she's a singer, is suing Poppy creator for severe abuse, ripping off her persona. So Poppy. So here's a picture of Poppy and Mars Argo, very similar.
Right.
So Mars Argo's former boyfriend is who Poppy's with, or is the manager of Poppy. I don't remember. And so, Mars Argo was part of a sang with her boyfriend or husband or whatever he was. I don't remember the whole story. If you want to hear it, I would suggest go listen to just find news on YouTube. You'll find it. And so Mars Argo was a group. I don't remember, like a vocal group. I can't remember. And Brittany Sheets is the real name of Mars Argo, and Mr. Mixter. That's it. She was in a relationship with a guy named Mr. Mixer, and that now he's with Poppy, and kind of designing her persona, and that is causing conflict. Mariah Pereira, Pereira. That's the Poppy. That's the real name of the girl who plays Poppy. So they're going through that right now. We'll see what goes on. I mean, it's pretty intense. Apparently, they're like Mars Argo is saying she stole not only her persona but some of her music stylings and stuff. I don't really know it all. I suggest you go watch the like Philip DeFranco show has a pretty good bit on it about a week ago or two. So if you're really curious about it, he does a pretty good job going over it. So I suggest looking at that. But that's where Poppy's at.
Okay, well, now we've got our Poppy update. So, well, my friend, anything else you can think of?
Not really. I'm kind of running low now.
All right. Well, as always, it has been a pleasure. If you've stuck with us all the way to the end, we thank you. And you know what? We hope you're having yourself a great Memorial Day, and we hope you get out there and just do something in remembrance. Eric, what are you going to do?
You know, I don't know now. I'll be playing some D&D on Saturday, but the day of Memorial Day, I think the pool is open, so I'll probably go to the pool.
Well, Eric, if they wanted to listen to a podcast on Memorial Day, where could they go to find one?
You know, there's a couple places you can go to find podcasts, especially the Pull Up a Chair podcast. You can go
Always a great choice.
I think it is. You can go to YouTube, or you can go to iTunes, or you can go to Facebook, or you can go to Stitcher, and you can just type in Pull Up a Chair podcast. And sometimes when you tell Alexa to play Pull Up a Chair podcast, she'll actually start playing the right show occasionally.
Sometimes has there been some misunderstandings between you and Alexa?
Occasionally. So you can find us all over the internet. You can just go to any of those. If you have any comments, Facebook or tweet us at Pull Up a Chair Pod, and that's us, and we'll get back to you. And that's pretty much where you can find us. We have our own website, PUCpodcast.website, PUCpodcast.website. And but if you want to contact us, Facebook or Twitter is probably the best.
When you say Alexa pull up a chair, does it, or play pull up a chair, is it like, yes, finding poop up a chair? Like some kind of...
I don't remember what it plays, but you have to say podcast. You have to say podcast.
Right.
Play Pull Up a Chair podcast, and it will find it. If you just play Pull Up a Chair, it starts playing something else. Like a song? I can't remember.
Well, yeah, because it thinks you want to play... What's that one where you go around the chairs and you got to be the last one?
I don't know.
No, you know, it's like...
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know.
Anyway, you got to sit down. Anyway. All right, well, we thank you for joining us. We hope that you have yourself a great day, a great Memorial Day, a time of remembrance. And we hope that you just, you know what? Have yourself a time of nostalgia, a time of thinking back to when times were easier for you. All right, have a great day.
Bye.